Okay, we're live. Hey, Timothy.
Hey John, how's it going?
I'm good. I'm good. So this is we're gonna get started in a minute. Actually, it's 4:07, so we'll start now. But we're feeding it. We're feeding this webinar through to our Facebook fan page. So it's the first time we're doing it. I hope it works out. Um, I want to welcome everybody who's joined us today. It's not a big group, but Darren, he's the rock. Glad to see you. Glad to see you here, Darren. Um, who I am. I'll introduce myself and I'll introduce my friend here with me. I'm Jonathan. I run a company called Storetasker.com. It's a platform that helps connect merchants to vetted experts. And I'm here today with Tim, who's on the marketing team. Hey, Tim.
Hey John. So I'm Timothy, and I do marketing, Facebook ads, all sorts of things here for Shopify, just to help, not for Shopify, for Storetasker, just to help people know about what we do, because I think that what we do is really awesome. People don't know about it.
Cool. So Tim and I prepared for the last month. Have been preparing this 6-day email course specifically for people to help people avoid some of the most common mistakes that we see in the space. And these webinars are simply a roundup of those email courses. So it's just like a casual top up or top off to what we're talking about in these emails. Timothy can share the link to the course after if you haven't signed up. It's pretty extensive. It's the result of about 5 or 6 deep 1-hour interviews with Tim and I. We really tried to collect everything we knew. Today we're talking about, today is day 2. So the first course was defining your unique selling proposition. Today is day 2. We're talking about design and functionality of your Shopify store, specifically how to pick a theme and how to pick apps and some common mistakes there that I see people make often. So let's jump right in. If you guys have questions, you can just write them in the chat and we'll address them at the end. Otherwise, I think we got some pretty good tips here. So
also, we're monitoring the Facebook Live, so if anyone on Facebook has anything, just comment away and we'll see it.
Thanks for doing that, Tim. Appreciate it. So picking a theme, I think, so there's a lot of misconceptions and a lot of general questions around picking themes. It's not easy to pick a theme, and a lot of people right from the start they get overwhelmed with this decision, and rightfully so. I think first of all, before picking a theme, you have an option to either custom build a theme or pick an existing Shopify theme. In 95% of cases for traditional e-commerce businesses getting started, there's very little reason not to pick an existing theme. The cost savings and the time savings are exponential. A theme in the Shopify theme marketplace costs $150, $180, and a lot of people underestimate the cost of a custom design theme. If you're paying anything under $5,000, it's probably risky. It goes up to $50,000, $100,000, and what's worse is the time it takes for you to actually launch. So the theme building process is a extensive one. We have these themes available for us in the marketplace, so it's one of the best deals on the internet. I don't think a lot of people realize how much work goes into these themes. Sure, they look alike, but you can customize them, you can style them, you can brand them, and there's no reason, for me anyway, there's very little reason to start off with a custom theme. A lot of people will ask where to buy these themes. There's several places. You have marketplaces like Template Monster and Theme Forest, but 100% of the time I suggest for people to buy their theme in the official Shopify theme marketplace. Why? Because they're tightly screened. Quality control is one of Shopify's top priorities when it comes to themes. And just like the general support that you'll get from a theme company is usually pretty good because they're accountable to Shopify. Shopify doesn't build all the themes. They're built by third-party theme companies, so they're accountable to Shopify and to the people who buy their themes. We'll generally see a lot of complaints around support from people who buy themes from ThemeForest, and also quality issues. There's no doubt that you can run into quality issues with themes from the official theme store, because if you're using apps and a theme, there's so many different technologies involved that there are chances for conflicts. The difference is that when there's a conflict with an official Shopify theme, there are just more options for free and better support. So those are a couple of things. When picking a theme, I think a lot of people think that it has to be perfect. It doesn't. You should strive to, find a theme in the theme marketplace that's 70 or 80% of your vision, and go with that and just kind of modify it over time. I think there are about 80 to 90 themes in the theme marketplace. A good approach is to list out 5 to 10 and try to visualize your brand on these themes. Try to see do some research under on the sales pages. There's examples of other people using the theme. This is a great way to get inspired and to see what these themes are capable of. Another common mistake people make is, these theme demo pages are made to sell. So the quality of photographs is usually, really professional. So not all themes are very visual. Not all use photographs extensively, but a lot of them do. So just be prepared for that difference. Like, are you ready to step up with your photographs and use a very visual theme? And I think it's just, you really want to take your time making a decision with a theme, because you're going to be using this theme for a while, and switching themes after you've started could be a pretty big job, and you don't want to be stuck with that challenge a few months down the road. So take your time with this step. A couple of last quick things for themes. Just like anything, when a theme is first released, usually there's going to be bugs, there are going to be kinks. So unless there's a real good reason for you to jump onto a newly released theme, it's safer to make sure the theme has been in the marketplace for about 6 months. And Tim pointed something out earlier, which I thought was important. It's better to go with a theme that has a 4.7 star review and 200 reviews than a 5-star average with 5 reviews. So keep those things in mind. Tim, do you have anything to add about themes?
Well, I was just going to think about what is there, but also what isn't there. When you're looking at a page on your landing page, they'll have bullet points of all the features that they offer that sometimes, obviously they're not going to talk about what they don't offer. So really pay attention to that. So I noticed a couple of people joined us a little bit late. So just remember that you can, at any point in time, if you have a question about what we're talking about, throw it up on the comments, whether you're on here, whether on your Facebook Live, and we'll try to address that during the Q&A. So I wanted to talk a bit about, before you pick a theme, and how you can contact customer support. So Shopify, in order to list a theme on their theme store, requires theme developers to offer lifetime support, which is great for merchants. And what it means is that not every developing company or not every developer is going to offer the same kind of support. So that's a really important part of picking a theme. You really want to pay attention. So it's a good idea before you pick your theme to contact them, send them an email, check their live chat if they have it, and ask them a few questions, because you really want to know what you're getting yourself into. Send them a message, gauge how long it takes them to get back to you, and how good of a quality you feel the response is. One tip that we have for people, and this is something that John talks about a lot, is like, put in several questions into the message that you send them, and then see if they answer all of the questions or if they just answer the last question that you asked. Because that's going to give you an idea of how much they actually paid attention to your.
Yeah, that's actually an interview trick, but it works when you're testing out support for themes and apps.
Yeah, and like it's kind of like an interview, like you're interviewing the theme developer in a way. So
yeah,
it holds true. So also you want to think about how long the company has been around, and how long that specific theme has been around. We like to think like this is the internet, so at least 6 months, right? They don't have to be around forever, for a really long time, but at least 6 months would be good. And then kind of the final comment in this vein is like, if you go with them, you have lifetime support, and that's great. But they're also a theme developer, and they're really limited in what they can do for each individual theme. Like sometimes people have hundreds of merchants using the same theme. So don't abuse it, because that's going to pull down the quality of support for everyone. So keep in mind. And it's also okay to ask them too, like, is this a support question or is this something I should really just ask?
Yeah, those are good points. I think they're technology companies. They have small support teams. They are accountable by Shopify, which is good. And this has benefited us at Storetasker and Hey Carson, where they'll draw a line in the sand for what they will do for theme users and what they won't, and they look for trusted developers to send the overage work to. So we're happy to be partnered up with a lot of theme companies. Yeah. So okay, cool. Thanks for that. That's good. We're going to jump quickly into apps. The parallels to choosing apps are very similar. But it's a lot easier to keep it short. A lot of people overdo the apps thing. It's easy to overdo it because usually we're small teams and apps promise the world. They promise to kind of replace people, save us money, and all these things. But I think it's very important to take your time when you're picking an app. Also, take advantage of the free trials that they have. Do the same tests with emailing their support. But be very careful not to overdo it with apps. A lot of non-technical store owners don't really understand that adding more apps actually slows down the site with extra code, and it can really hurt the visitor experience on the website. I like to say that some sites look like the Vegas Strip. They have everything flashing, everything coming at you at once, and it's still a big problem in the Shopify space. So when picking apps, there are a few things you want to consider. You want to minimize it, so use the least amount of apps possible. And think about it in this way. Does the app solve a big problem for you? Like, make sure it's a sizable problem. Adding like Halloween pattern or Christmas snowflakes in the holidays is kind of not really a big problem, and it adds clutter to the site. Does it save you time? Does it really save you time? Does it replace somebody, a potential employee, or does it automate a big part of what's important to you in your store processes? And does it help with sales? So those are kind of the three big categories. Does it solve a big problem? Does it save you time? And does it help you with sales? If it doesn't fall into that, then you can kind of just limit how you use apps. And I think that's the gist of it. It's a very similar to the theme selection process. We have a few of our favorite theme companies and app companies. So I'll let you talk about that, Tim.
Sure. And just remember that basically everything that I said about contacting support for a theme company is also going to be important for apps. So don't forget to reach out. Almost every single app out there has live chat. So it literally takes minutes to get in contact with someone. So our theme partners are out of the sandbox. Out of the Sandbox has been around since 2011, and for Shopify, that's just like their agent. But like super innovative. They know their stuff, so we love them. Out of the Sandbox. Pixel Union is very smart. They work great with apps. It's really great if you're changing apps or updating a theme or whatever. Like Pixel Union is amazing. We've got Underground Media. They're a really small company and they have amazing support one-on-one. So definitely, check them out, see if they have what you need. And then the fourth one is Troop Themes. Troop Themes is really design oriented, and a lot of like fashion merchants will choose Troop Themes because of the high-end look of their themes. And then just a shout out to a few of our favorite apps. We've got Privy. Privy is an email collecting app. So they put little pop-ups and boxes all over your site, depending on what you want to collect emails. Shoelace does retargeting for products. So they're really awesome because they can, if someone's looking at one product, they'll show you that exact thing that you were looking at before, rather than just like a generic ad for anyone who's in the store. And then we love Bold as well. They're a Canadian company here up in Winnipeg, I think. And they have product upsell, which is amazing in terms of just offering customers the chance to buy something else that goes along with the product that's already in their cart. So those are our faves.
Quickly, for those of you guys that are here, what theme are you using? I know, Darren, you're using a theme that's not in the theme marketplace. Does anybody have other favorite themes or apps that they're using? Yeah, cool. So we can go right into the QA if there are any questions. It's not as active as it was the other day. Maybe the 4:07 time has something to do with that. But I think if there's no questions, we have tips. But if you guys have questions, you can drop them now.
It's the end of the day. Everyone's tired. They want to go home. We should have thought about that.
No, I think the purpose of these calls is really to refine them and make the course much stronger. The email course is text, so eventually we can even redo these and really polish them up. We really want to make the best free course for people to save them time and save them from making mistakes. And these casual chats are just top ups. So
definitely, and I think it's always easier to interact with the content when it's video rather than just text. So we talked about the pro tip of when you uninstall one app, that a lot of times in order to get that app up and running, you have to install some code on your site. So it's just really important for merchants to be aware that that code didn't go anywhere when you uninstalled the app. Like, no one magically erased that code from your website. It's still there. And so it's not going to do anything, but it is going to slow your site down. So when you've made that decision to uninstall an app, you have to take the next step and like remove any code snippets that you might have put in. And if you're not sure about that, you can like pretend like you're going to install it again and check their support. They'll have like a FAQ or something that talks about how to install it. So just do the opposite.
Cool. So any more tips, Timothy?
Any more tips? Wow. I'm glad you asked, Sean. So we had talked about theme updates and when to do it. I don't know if you had any thoughts about that. Like when is a good idea to update my theme? Should I just do it every time that there is an update, or what?
Well, I think theme companies, they're also trying to iterate on their themes and make them better. They take user feedback, they fix bugs, they add features. A lot of them are starting now to add built-in apps, which is cool, built-in functionality. So every time there's a new theme update for your theme, I don't think it's the wisest to just jump and update it. I think you need to be really wise about what's been added and if you need it. A lot of Shopify store owners and theme users underestimate what it means to update a theme. Still, it's getting better, but still one of the bigger problems with the Shopify space are these theme updates. The more customizations and work you've done on your store, the more complex it is to move the theme over to another theme or to an updated theme.
Yeah, sometimes it can add a lot of work to your schedule, and if we're coming up on the holidays right now, like maybe you really need to be focused on customer service or some other part of your business. And updating your theme maybe isn't a priority. So
that's a really good point. Like nobody should be, unless you're launching, you shouldn't be updating your theme in the fourth quarter. I just think it's like the last thing people should be doing. But yeah, it depends.
Agreed.
Yeah, Darren, are you still here? Let me know if you're still here because I have a question for you. But if not, Tim, was there one last thing there on the point? Did you want to talk about the schedule moving forward for these Facebook Lives and the course?
Well, that's a good point. So some of you may have noticed that we're not coming up with a new live every day. And so we are going to be releasing the emails as we do the lives so that the topic is fresh on your mind, so that you're seeing stuff as it comes up. So we will be sending those out whenever we decide to do the lives. Right now, we're definitely going to be doing this like once a week, maybe twice a week going forward. So hopefully you weren't too set on the idea of having this be 6 days consecutively. It's still 6 days. It's just random days.
Yeah, we'll break it up a bit.
Yeah, I think we might switch back to the 3:07 time, but we'll keep you up to date.
Yeah, was it 3:07 or 1:07? It was 3:07. Yeah.
3:07. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we can rethink the time. We can also. What I noticed with the Facebook Live is that it fed into Facebook, but did you see it, Tim? Because it wasn't split.
It's just.
Yeah.
So, no one saw my face. They just saw you.
So I'm hoping they could hear you, but we'll have to double check that.
We're so good at technology.
We'll get better. What we'll do over time is we'll improve the backdrop. We'll wear nicer shirts. Well, actually, your shirt's pretty nice today. But so we'll close it off there. Thanks for the attendees that are here. We appreciate it. The recording will be available.
Just a few plugs. Share this course with your friends. If you go to crowdcast.io/e/design and functionality and then add /merchant, it takes you to the description. I didn't realize if you just go to this page, you don't see the description. The description has links to signing up for the course, so you can check that link out there.
Can we also drop the course link in the chat here so that people that are coming in after can also?
I will do that in just a second.
Cool.
You can do it. Yeah. So also wanted to say if you're not getting the emails, sign up yourself as well. And then if you have a question or something that's wrong with your store, or just want to have an expert support, feel free to drop a job listing for us, and an expert will get back with you as soon as possible. It's a free job listing. There's no obligation.
On Storetasker.com, right?
On Storetasker.com. So I'll also have that link in the comments in just a second, and you can post a job there, and someone will get back with you with a quote, so you'll know how much that's going to cost you. So I'm going to go ahead and find those real fast and drop all those links.
Cool. We can close it off there. Thanks for everybody who attended, and watch for the links in the chat, and watch for the day 3 live coming next week. Thank you.
And I'll drop that link in as well.
Cool. Thanks, Timothy. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.